Hello, how are you? I'm Kayla. This is Flosstube 26 and it's April 10th, 2023. Hope you had a good Easter if you celebrate. That was yesterday. And what? This is a channel mostly about cross stitch. So thanks for being here. I hope you enjoy. Okay, so it's only been 3 weeks-ish since my last video, which for me recently has been like, that's pretty good. So yeah, I've got one finish, a bunch of progress, a little bit of knitting progress, and some quilting progress. I think that's it. So let's start with my finish. If you saw my last video, this is probably not a surprise at all. I finished Strutting Tom by Lindy Stitches. And I already put the pattern away and all the flosses and stuff, but it was all the called for flosses, which were mostly overdyes and a couple DMCs. And oh, my cat just jumped in a box. So if you heard that, that's what that was. And this is on 36 count light mocha. I did buy a frame for it, but I didn't frame it yet. So hopefully I'll do that soon. Super soon, because it's been sitting on my dresser with other things I need to finish. They're fully finished. But anyway, that is my finish, Strutting Tom. Yay, I love him. I think he's so handsome and cute. So it'd be super fun to have out for Thanksgiving. And probably just like all the time, because I love him. Why do you decorate with turkeys? I don't know, because they're super fancy. Okay, now my cat is chewing on the corner of the box that he just jumped in. So if you hear that, sorry. Okay, so that's my finish, yay. So the bad news is that I did not work on a Dutch sampler by Kathy Barrick more, even though I wanted to, because I started working on something else that I already had that was calling my name. Also, sorry if you hear the sink going. Okay, so I pulled out this project, Worthy Brown by Carriage House Samplings. I'm stitching it on 36 count vintage country mocha with all the called for DMC. This is an older, I think this is from 1999, but it's definitely still available on kittenstitcher.com and probably other places. But anyway, so I'd started this a while ago. I had the border done and I had a few doodads done and like the bird's head only. Okay, Amy's gonna sit down. She's gonna work on her clay stuff. She's been making lots of clay stuff, which is really cool. But yeah, so let's show you what I got, what I accomplished. Oh, I just stabbed myself with the needle. So I worked really a long time on that. This bird is no joke. This bird is no joke at all. So like I said, this part of the bird's head about from there over was what I had done. And I didn't have this or Worthy. So I did this and that. And then I did all of this and this whole wing. So yeah, I still have like probably that much left of the bird's body and then a huge tail and the whole huge other wing plus some other little motifs before this can be a finish. But I still made a lot of progress and I worked on this for, I mean, maybe almost 2 weeks. And then I noticed myself not wanting to stitch very much for a few days. And I was like, oh, I should probably pick out something else to work on because I am clearly wanting to do something different. So I kind of put it away. Well, not away, but you know what I mean? Just kind of, it's like, okay, I can pause, but that's a lot of stitching. You can barely see, but there are 2 different colors in the tanny pink sections. So yeah, that was the majority of my couple of weeks of work, or a few weeks. And then I also pulled out, or continued to work on Ex-School Friend by Lindy Stitches. It's my other Lindy Stitches project that I have going on. I finished this one already, and this is the one that I'm trying to finish. One last you saw it, I had the border done, and sorry, you're probably hearing that. That's okay. It's okay. I had these words, but not heart and none of this. So I finished the words, I did all these lines, and I'm working on this big old ghoul hand. Once I finish the hand, I just have the cuff and then 2 little flowers. So again, I mean, this is a really small piece, but it's a lot of stitching in there. So, but I'm liking how it's turning out. It'll be good once it's done, because I did start something else and have plans to start another thing, so. Oops. All right, so what else? I did pull out Egg Hunt by Satsuma Street. I worked yesterday on it and a little bit this morning, and that's pretty much it. I wanted to work on it more, but I was working on the other stuff, so whatever. That's fine. And here is where I'm at. I did finish this color and this flower to match that. And I started, or I did that, and then I'm starting in on the bunnies. So I got the pink in for like the little outlining, and then this is a super light pink. That's part of its head. Then I have to do that over here too. And like everything else, you know, but progress is progress, you know. I'm using all the called for colors, which is DMC. It's 36 count agave by Zweigart. Oh, I don't know if you care, but this is the called for colors too on light mocha, 36 count. Okay. I feel like I'm moving super quick, so this will be a quick update. Okay. The next thing, what is this? Oh, I accidentally got another piece of paper. So the next thing I did was I started something new. And this is because I'm blaming Amy Loves Toes because this and the next project that I'm planning to start are directly because I was influenced by her. 1814 Butterfly Collection by Carriage House Samplings. I think this is a pattern from 2002. I'm pretty sure I got this from Kitten Stitcher also one time when I had a gift card. So I am using the DMC, you know, it's either silk or DMC. So I'm using the DMC, and I started up in the opposite corner from where I would typically start. I stitch in hand and I'm left-handed. So I like to start over here, but I decided to start over here because this is where it gets the most annoying. Like on the right side, because I hold it with my right hand and stitch with my left hand. So if I'm all the way over here, then this side is all floppy unless I'm containing or rolling the fabric up in some way, which then does add extra weight anyway. So it's just one of those things. It's like, it gets a little annoying when it's over here, regardless of the project. So I decided to get the annoying part out of the way and then stitch to from annoying-er with the floppy fabric to easier, as opposed to what I usually do. Anyway, I started up here. And I thought in my head, I was like, if I can do maybe like at minimum 1 butterfly a week, I'll get this done in less than a year. You know, best laid plans, right? So we'll see if I actually follow that or if I just, you know, do whatever I feel like, which is what I usually do, but we'll see what happens. So I got this one done and the outline for this guy. And I'm doing it on, I said the called for DMC, but it's 36 count Summer Khaki by Zweigart. And here it is. And something I didn't realize before I opened the pattern and was reading the instructions is, first of all, the model was stitched on an uneven weave. So it was like a 32, 36, you know, number one. And number two, something else I didn't realize is that a lot of these butterflies are not regular, just regular cross stitch. There's a lot of special instructions for each. So there's like a list, 1 through whatever. And then it's like, for this section, do satin stitch, or for this section, do, I'm trying to think, whatever. There's eyelets in some and blah, blah, blah. So anyway, it's going to be really fun to, you know, not just be doing straight cross stitch, which I love straight cross stitch, but it's going to be really fun to be doing other things. So for example, the one that I actually completed, this light blue section in here is 2 strands for satin stitch. And then this has a satin stitch section as well and some eyelets. And then there's a bunch of over one ones, which I didn't realize when I bought the pattern, but I mean, it kind of makes sense because look how tiny they are. Anyway, I just love this. Whenever I saw Amy from Amy Loves Toads working on it, I was like, oh, I need to find the pattern, take my money. So anyway, I'm glad I finally started that. And this I gave myself permission to start just because I finished Strutting Tom, even though Strutting Tom is tiny and this is not as tiny, but it's fine. Whatever. Oh, thanks. My daughter just told me I'm cute. Thank you, Amy. You're cute too. And then, okay, this is another I'm blaming Amy from Amy Loves Toads because she is either working on this or finished this and I love it so much. This is one I really want to start. So I'm trying to be good and finish Ex-Girlfriend and then start this, but you know, I mean, does it really mean I'm good or whatever? I don't know. I'm not completing a thought. Part of me is like, I was just going to start it willy-nilly, but then I'm like, finish something and then start it, you know. We have robins all over the place now because it's spring and it's just perfect. And I don't need a new needle book. I have a little needle book that, you know, is store-bought. The button came off, so I could just sew the button back on, but also I could just make myself a new needle book. It doesn't make any sense, but that's kind of where I'm at. So I've got DMC and a scrap of Weeks Dye Works Gray in 36 count. I think this is not stitched, the model wasn't stitched on 36 count, but it'll be fine. I'm sorry if you're shaking. The cat is playing with the tablecloth, I think, so that's not ideal. So this may end up tiny, but it's okay. And then the inside is like little felt eggies for the needle holder. I might add an additional wool flap for more needles, but I still like the egg, so we'll see. That's kind of a planned start. Oh yeah, the cat's definitely playing with the thing. Hold on. Trying to get him off the chair. All right. All right. So the only other thing I have to share, I did work a tiny bit on the crochet blanket that I started and I shared last time, but it still looks basically the same. It's just like a couple more rows, same color still. So I didn't think the progress was exciting enough to share. And I did work a little on Amy's sock, but it still basically looks
like a sock,
like a tube, an unfinished sock tube. Yeah, and it's not much bigger. So I, again, didn't think the progress was exciting enough to share, but this is knitting now, by the way. I did work some on my Felix cardigan, which is by Amy Christoffers or Savory Knitting. And I'm using Wool of the Andes, worsted weight, and claret heather. And I split for sleeves and worked, you know, knit a couple inches. So it still doesn't look like a ton, but you know, something, right? Okay, how am I going to show this where it makes any type of sense? I don't know. So here's the whole increases. There's the little sleeve split, right? And now I did a couple inches. So I'm working on the body, and right now it's nice because I don't have to like pay a lot of attention. I just knit back and forth a few rows when I feel like it, and you know, making progress slowly. So that's the knitting that I did. Besides the sock and, you know, but it's, again, not exciting enough to show, so.
Exciting.
Yes. And then the last thing that I spent time working on this past few weeks is I actually picked up Amy's quilt that I've been slowly working on for a long time. And I finished all the components of the B blocks. So I made the A blocks a while ago, and the B blocks are like the same pattern, just opposite color thing. Let me back up for a second. I'm making her a woven Jacob's Ladder quilt. This is a Missouri Star Quilt Company pattern. They also have a triple play video where they do a tutorial of how to make these blocks and then 2 other quilts at the same time, or during the same video. And that's where I got, you know, the idea to make this from. So yeah, all the A blocks have been done for a while. I think it's 18 A blocks. And then the B blocks is just the colors facing inwards, and then the center square is white. So these are all the A blocks, and I'm using a Heather Ross fabric line that I've had for quite a while, and white obviously as the contrast color. I still have to put the B blocks fully together, but I did all the half square triangles and even trimmed them last night it took a couple hours, but all the half square triangles are made and pressed and squared up, you know. And then I have, this is the center block here, sorry for the crinkling, which is just white. And then I also have all of the 4 patches made and pressed and trimmed. So now I just have to assemble the actual blocks, you know? Which, I mean, it doesn't seem that exciting, but it's hours of work to do all this. So I'm glad that I'm making progress. Once I get all the blocks together, then I can actually assemble the quilt top, which is very exciting. And then there's the challenge of quilting it, which I don't like quilting quilts. I just like making quilt tops, but I'm also too cheap to send it to somebody to quilt it themselves. So I will do it. And then I'll just have to, you know, make Liam and Billy Jr. a quilt and finish the other quilts that I have quilt tops for. So no big deal. So no big deal. What, honey?
Like 12 quotes.
Yeah. I'm a stinker. Yeah. So I don't know what else is new. Let's see. I have seedlings over in the dining room over there. I decided to not grow vegetable seedlings this year and just am growing flowers for the most part. I might direct seed some veggies, but I'm doing mostly flower garden this year because since I've been doing this elimination diet, which I don't even know if I talked about, to try and see if it helps thyroid stuff, I'm not eating a lot of stuff that I usually would eat. Blah, blah, blah. And nobody else really likes to eat that stuff anyway. It's like me eating all the tomatoes generally every summer.
I like eating the tomatoes.
Kind of, but not really. You like to try one. You just like to pick them. Well, we'll see. I'm definitely probably going to grow cucumbers still because Amy really likes the cucumbers and whatever. But mostly flowers things. So over there, I've got snapdragons, rudbeckia, gomphrena, which still hasn't germinated because it takes forever. And a few marigolds, even though you can direct seed them, but I wanted to get a few, you know, pre-started. They're like the giant marigolds that are like this big and orange. So that'll be fun. Yeah, we had Easter yesterday. I cooked a big meal. It was tasty. I definitely didn't eat how I've been trying to eat this weekend, so gotta get back on that, but you know, Easter weekend, I guess. And yeah, what else? I just want to say thank you guys for being here because I got a bit of an uptick in people subscribing, which was surprising and exciting. Usually when I post a video, I just lose like 4 subscribers and then gain like 3 or 4. So it kind of evens out in the end. But this time there was like more and I was like, wow, that's shocking. But so thanks. Wow. And if you've been here before and stuck with me, hey, I appreciate it. Thank you. I hope to see you guys in another couple or few weeks. We'll see. Baseball season is picking up. So, you know, for Liam. So we'll see. Oh, here's Amy saying hi.
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 Okay, I gotta work on my vocal now.
Oh, Amy's been making a lot of things out of clay recently, which is fun. She's saying when we have a yard sale, she's gonna try and sell some of her creations, which is super cool. So, okay, I'm gonna stop rambling. I think I said everything I really wanted to say. I hope you're doing well. If you celebrate Easter, I hope you enjoyed yours. And I hope your stitching is bringing you joy. So, okay. See you next time. Bye.